Hello, my friends. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. This is Tanya at Sidegigcrafts. Guys, I am so glad to be here. Thank you for joining me. I am going to be starting, it's January. I'm going to be starting a new journal today. And this one I'm super excited about because this one is going to be mine. So there's going to be a lot of heart in this one, a lot of special details. This one will be mine to use, and therefore it's going to be quite special. I want to make sure that I'm using things around the house that I already have. Things that mean something to me, all my favorite pieces, all that kind of stuff. So we'll be going through my stash and just really working it up. Why? Well, because you know what? I feel like these days I actually have things to write about. So I'm going to start with this book. This is a The Best Year of American Heritage, December 1954 and October 55. I don't know nothing about that, but I do think that I'm going to save that spine and probably use it in the final book. But we're just going to take the guts out right now. There's a lot of beautiful papers in here, pages. It's just a gorgeous book. So many fun things, American history. And there's even a clip in here from 1973, August of 1973. Let's see what it's about. Not sure what they saved it for, but service station hours, business boom, soft landing, end foreseen. Astros film storm, show haircutting. I don't know. I don't know what they saved it for, but we've got a piece of newspaper in here. So we're just going to, ooh, that's very pretty. Ooh, I could use that for so many things. So this book is going to be a treasure of images for upcoming projects, possibly even this one. So we will definitely save the guts, trim those out and set them aside. Now I was thinking this book is actually a bigger size. Regular copy paper would be too small for this book, but I actually have an amazing opportunity. I still have an atlas and the pages are pretty much just about perfect. So this is what I'm going to be using for the inside of my book pages. I'm going to be covering them anyway for the most part. And so I think these are going to be great to make my signatures with. So those will be my base pages. I'm going to go ahead and cut this spine out. I have my glass mat under here so I can just carefully trim this back. I think I'm going to use my ruler if I can find it. While I'm doing that, I do want to thank you all of those who have been sending prayers, well wishes, happy thoughts, bubbles, all the positivity my way for myself and my family. You may know that I was in the hospital over the holidays, and I am home now and feeling so much better. Got a long ways to recovery, long road ahead of me, but your prayers were felt, and it really helped get me through when I was my sickest. So thank you for that. You guys mean the world to me. I probably don't even say it enough. So there we go. We've got our cover, a spine, and like I said, I think I'm going to use this, and I'll explain why later on. That's part of another story, but I feel like I want to use this in my whole book. So yeah, I do want to make my spine fatter, so I will be extending that a little bit. And I think I'm going to just trim this down right now. I'm going to move that forward so I don't accidentally cut it. I'm going to trim this back just a little bit. Oh, and I also wanted to say thank you for your patience because I haven't been filming. My views have gone down so bad, but I haven't lost any of my family. So, meaning my YouTube family. So thank you for that. Thanks for sticking around. That too means the world to me. So that's awesome. We didn't quite meet 3,000 for our Road to 3,000 challenge. We pretty much, honestly, we stayed the same. I think I gained over the I would gain a few, lose a few, gain a few, lose a few. And I think we ended up one more than what I started with, which I think is funny, but that's okay. It's fine. That's not what this is about. I would love to gain that 3,000, but you know, that's not why I do YouTube. I do it because I love it and because I love being able to share what I create. So that's the main point. And those who are here because they want to be. That's another point. I want that to be true. I'm going to go ahead and rough this up a little bit because it is already, and I think it's beautiful. And I think I want those, I want it to be very rustic and used and loved. And this book is going to be completely me, you guys, so stay tuned. We might be working on this one for a while. I may not do everything on camera. There may be things I do off camera, but I'll do a lot of it with you, and for sure I'll definitely show you everything as I go along, even if I don't do it on camera. So if you ever see a technique that I do that maybe I didn't show or something, let me know if there's something you want to see me do. And I'm always willing to take suggestions or point you in the right direction or let you know, hey, I've never done that. But if you know me, you know that if I've never done it, I'm always willing to try. So we roughed that up just a little bit. I don't need to do too much more than that. Now, there's a couple other things that I want to do or want to use. Well, I think I'm going to have to make my spine for this first because I can't really put my cover on until I have that spine solid. This is 2 inches. I think I'm going to go to 3. I think I want a 3-inch spine. I kind of want to even go bigger than that. But 4 is way too big. I think we're going to stick with 3. 3 is going to be big enough. So it's going to be 3, plus I'm going to need at least, well, do I need a crossover? I don't think so. I think we'll stick with 3. Ooh, what is this? Not big enough. All right, so let me find that spine. Be right back. All right, I found that spine. Look, I've got scraps from work. I have this sign, and it was 7 inches, so I cut it in half. Our spine's going to be 3.5 inches. There. Decided. Let's go ahead and glue these together because I'm going to want it a little thicker than the paper itself. I'm using stuff that I already have, scraps around the room, trying to get things together and in better shape for 2026. I started doing some organizing today, got some extra projects that I needed to sort through so I could make some room in here. And this will use up some more of those things, especially using those map pages. I was going to use them for something else, but there's other things I can use for that project or those projects. Or I'll probably have more than I need for this one. There we go. So we'll just glue these two together. I'm going to put the white sides out. That'll make it easier to cover. Like I said, I'm using stuff from life around me right now. Fabric from different projects that I did. Papers from different projects that are just laying around here at the house. So there we are. All right. I have to apologize in advance. I just realized, I don't know if you guys can hear the voices in the background, but how do I say it? That would be Chuck. And he is in the other room playing a video game. So if it gets a little boisterous in there, I apologize. So, all right. That's going to be, now this is just a little bit shorter than my book. I'm okay with it because I'm going to be covering this with fabric. So this this cover is not going to show. It's going to be all covered, but I wanted to go ahead and get that started. So with that being said, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to cover that. I'm going to do some thinking, and then I'm going to come back and show you. Instead of trying to do my process in front of you, I'm going to figure that out, and I'll be right back. Okay, friends, so I have got this fabric. I did get my spine together. I've got, I did go ahead and cut it back down to 3 inches. That 3.5 was just going to be, it's just too big. I'm not going to be able to handle that, and it's going to end up too heavy for me. So I have these pieces of fabric, and it's got acrylic paint. This was a project that I was working on years and years ago, and I have a huge piece of it left. It's got acrylic paint on it because we painted clowns and circus theme on it. We used it as a canvas, and this part is I just love this and being able to use. And I tore 2 pieces of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one to cover each side of my book, but I want to decorate this and distress it and make it a little bit more rustic and fitting for a journal. So we're going to be using some stamping and some different techniques to do that, and probably some sprays and some, I don't know, but I wanted to show you what we're going to be working with to get that going. So I'm going to grab a few more supplies. All right, so I've pulled some things to work with. We'll see how they go. I don't know how they're going to stick. I don't know how they'll settle in, but we're gonna give it a shot and see what we can come up with. I just grabbed a few things out. I think that's going to kind of give me an idea of what we're working with. I pulled some phrases. I pulled some Tim Holtz stamps, some flowers, some stencils, and we're going to start there. So I'm thinking, and I really don't care which order or direction, or maybe I should, but I kind of don't. Let's start with stencils, because that would be more of a background thing. I thought we could use some of this. And we're going to need something that's going to stay on. We're going to use Distress Oxides. The inks are good. They're not, well, these aren't permanent though, but I don't know. I'm just going to play. I think on the acrylic, I might have to use something a little sturdier. But, ooh, you know what we could do? We could totally test this. I had another piece that I tore before using this one. Is this it? There it is. Let's try it on here first. It's just another piece of the same fabric with the acrylic paint on it. That way we'll know if it sticks. We'll know if it's going to run. We'll do some experimenting. We'll try this one on both the painted part and the regular fabric and see how it turns out. Good way to do it, right? So we've got that on there, and I love it. I love that. So let's see what happens if I spray water on it. Oh, and this is just the regular Distress ink. I'm curious if it's going to pool over here on this side or if it'll stay. Okay, so I can actually lighten it up and work with that. That's kind of cool. Over here it stays the same. But now if I put this Distress ink on here and don't add water, will it stay? Or is it going to wipe? No, well, yeah. Well, it is still wet, so perhaps it'll stay. At least it's going to leave some shadowing, if not. At least that's if I wipe it right away, because I should have left it sit. So let's try this pattern, just so we know which one we did different. And I'll leave that sit for a few minutes and see what that one does. All right, and that will give us some ideas. And then I know that when we use our oxides, they change the colors and stuff. I wonder, I think the oxides might just wipe right off. We're going to try this one. And see what it does on both that fabric as well as the regular, just plain old fabric. I think it'll just blend in. Can you guys see that? You can. And it should be, I mean, it should, I don't know. It should stay over here. I don't know. All right, let's see if this one wipes off because it's been sitting there. Just a little, not too bad. So it'll stain at least. And this one actually seems to stay better. Let's see what happens if we wet it. It's going to come up and bleed. And that is not a problem if that's the effect you want. So to be distressed, I kind of like that. So we could use that water to our favor that way. See, this is just kind of playing and figuring out how it works. And then this one, so we could actually, you know, focus our water drops and make them work for us and lift up in places where we want them to. And we can keep layering if we want. So that's kind of a really quick, that taught me a lot. So hopefully it did you too. We know a few more things about our project here and how we can use it. So, okay. I keep thinking one piece at a time. Let's go ahead. Let's do one piece at a time. Let's just have some fun with it. Nerves. I really almost want to just cover the book first, but I don't think that's what I really should do. So we're just going to play. We're just going to play. I love this. We're going to use this. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm not planning on putting these in any particular spots. The book is just going to land how it lands, and then I'll do finishing touches when that happens, because I don't even know if that sentence made sense, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be random. And then when I put it on the book, it's going to be how it turns out. That's what I mean. So let's turn this on. These are colors I'm going to be using on the cover and inside the book. They're going to be neutrals, browns, blues. That's my plan. I'm going to go ahead and do one more because this is so big. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the placement yet. So I want to make sure that I have my design covering everywhere. There we go. There we go. All right. And oh, I shouldn't put that away because we want the other piece to be the same or similar at least. So I'll do that. Using the same patterns and the same colors. Okay, go again here. And should I do one more? One more up here. Super excited about this journal. I figured it's 2026. Why do I not have a journal that I'm working on? Why? I have so much to say these days. It's time. All right, so I do want this one because I really love how that looked. And I don't even mind if they cross over onto each other because I want it to be rustic and I want it to be random. So we'll just rub that over there. And it kind of looks like, coffee staining, doesn't it? A little bit. Which is kind of nice. Put some over here. Nothing perfect, nothing equally spaced, nothing measured out. Just have fun with it. Fill in the gaps, fill in the spaces. We're making our own fabric. We're making our own designer fabric. And it gets it out of our stash, and it makes it pretty, and it makes it unique. It makes it our own. Since there's no rules, we can't do it wrong, right? Lots of fun. Lots of fun to be had there. Kind of looks a little tie-dye too, doesn't it? I hope you guys all had a great Christmas. I hope you're all doing well. I hope your families are well. Mine is doing well. They've all been wonderful since I was sick, and it's just been such a blessing. Couldn't be happier. All right, so let's do, I'm going to do one more over here because like I said, I don't know what the placement's going to be on this. So I don't want to leave that big old gap over there. I want it to, you know, kind of at least sort of go into each other there. No perfection or anything. Okay, so there's that. Put that aside. I want to do some spritzing. You know, we always have these tools in our toolbox that we don't use nearly enough, and one of those for me is my sprays. In fact, it's been so long since I've used them, I'm looking through all my drawers right now to remember where I put them, where I keep them. They live there, but I can't remember where I keep them. I think they're over in this drawer. This one over here that you can't see. Hey, there they are. Okay, I was right. So I've got lots of different colors. I've got bundled sage would be beautiful. Peeled paint is gorgeous. Gotta have vintage photo. Uncharted Mariner. Okay, there. That one for sure. I have a mica spray. No, we're not using mica spray. That's a mica spray. That's a mica spray. I have lots of mica spray. I don't think I have as many colors. I don't want pink. What is this one? Spray. Okay, I think those are the colors. Out of what I don't really have as many as I thought I did. I have India ink. We are going to use that. I think I'm going to use the bundled sage, not the peeled paint. Peeled paint is much brighter. As much as I love it, I think I want it toned down a bit. See how much difference that makes between the two. I think I want the muted color just a little bit more. So I'm going to go with that. Okay, put that one back. I'm just going to stick with these. And this makes me so nervous. I think that it's probably not going to dry on the acrylic paint. That's my guess. I'll probably have to use my, you know, that tool that blows air on it, the hot air, that thing. And I think that when I spray this onto the fabric, it's going to spread. But we have a tester piece. So let's test those theories. Let's test those theories, because I think oh, that could be really fun. So it's not spreading here. It is sitting on top, which is exactly what I would expect. Oh, and apparently this leaks. So let's figure that out. Oh, the lid wasn't on correctly. Oh, that's helpful. I'll have a splatter mess, and that's okay. We'll use that for something else another day. Darn. And I got it on my new sweatshirt. Dang it. Well, apparently I have a splatter sweatshirt now too. All right. Well, that's disappointing. My brand new sweatshirt. Okay. So there's that. I think that's going to work, really. This doesn't soak in at all. It's just beading on top. So technically, when I use my dryer, it should, I'm just dry it up. Let's see what happens. Okay, so just as expected, it did dry pretty well with, some of this is still wet, but it did dry pretty well on here. And when it is, it's not going to rub. Over here, it did the same thing. It beaded up. A lot of this is still wet. I can soak some of that back up and knock that color back a little bit, or I can dry it with the dryer and it does just great. So the heating tool. So my thought was if this white is too white. So next thing we're going to do before we splatter, we're going to take the fabric and we're going to find the brush that I used for the brown. And we're going to add some color, add some variation. It's going to pick up in different places more so than others. There's wrinkles in this fabric. There's texture. So you'll see lines here with, you know, where it hits a little differently, which is awesome. Imperfections. And that's what we want. So this will knock back some of the white color and still leave us with a really cool look. Okay, we can add some more ink to this in a minute as it gets a little dry. I'll just add a little bit more. I'm just gonna go in there. And I'm seeing where this fabric and the paint meet. It picks up the ink in a little darker in that area. That's kind of a neat trick. So we will highlight that and use that to make sure that that shows up even more. And then just kind of, you know, make sure we've got that all in there. We'll do the same thing to the next piece. Go do the edges first. That'll be easier. I'm not going to do this part of the fabric to do that because I think I want that to be brighter. I want to keep the color there. I want the brightness to be able to contrast with what I'm going to do to the fabric, stamping it or whatever. I'll put some kind of plate or something over the front of it. So that fabric won't be completely showing anyway. I hope I'm making sense. I don't feel like I am. And if I'm not, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still not feeling 100%, so I'm just going to blame the meds. Let's see. But this is the first time I've been able to sit up this long comfortably since I've been home. So that's a good thing. And I've been missing my crafting so much. There we go. All right, so that, excuse me, that helps. Now, that's just going to add a little bit of color. I want to do the splatters, of course. So where do we start with that? Let's start with brown. Because I definitely want concentrations of the brown throughout there. And this is this is oxide spray. So we could play with water a little bit with this one too, but I'm not sure how much I want to. I'm going to end up getting this on my sweatshirt too, aren't I? Oh well. I mean, we already know the other stuff's not going to come out, so I guess it doesn't matter anymore. So we'll do that. And might as well do this one at the same time. I won't shake that as vigorously as before. Love the look of that. Kind of careful with your splotches. Oops, that was a big one. That's okay. And then do we want the green? We get to decide. We don't have to do anything. Let's go ahead. We'll add some soft touches of green in there. It probably won't be as vibrant, and that's okay. But green is my favorite color. So why not? Especially this beautiful green. It's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dry this one up and show you, and then I'll do the other one off screen. Okay, guys, so we've got that dried up. I went ahead and dabbed the stuff that wouldn't completely dry. I want to use some stencils, and I want to use some texture paste. We're just going to use bits of it here and there. I love this, and I'd like to have that on there. Now, I'm going to use, this is grit paste. It's translucent grit paste. I just want the texture so the colors can come through. So translucent is just fine. I'm hoping that it won't peel up from the fabric. We're experimenting. We'll see how it works out, and I'll let you know. So we'll go ahead and get that grit paste. Oh, I should have tested to see if it's still wet. I have a bad habit of not using this stuff, and then it doesn't work when I go to use it, but I think this should be okay. So we'll try it. So I'm just going to put bits of it here and there. Just spread it thinly. And I'm thinking it should leave like an embossed texture similar on the fabric is the idea. Not aiming for perfection ever. And we'll see how it sits. I don't know. I haven't done this before. So we'll definitely learn. And if I miss some spots that I want to do later when I put the cover on, then I can always go back with that. But I'm going to leave this like this for now. You can see how it kind of sits on top of the fabric. And I'm hoping that when it dries, it'll be stuck on there enough that it won't be popping off. I don't know. I don't have high hopes at this point because it looks like it's just sitting on top. But it's possible. Let's put some more over here. And I'll do the same on the other piece. Now this is going to take longer to dry, of course, so we'll be setting that aside as I go ahead and do this one. So I want them to have the same design on there. Oops. Worth a shot, guys. Tell you what, the stencil is a mess. I'm not taking good care of it. So to get any design out of it, I'm happy. Let's see if I can get some more on there. All right, so kind of hit and miss. But hopefully that will be squished into the fabric enough to make a difference. All right, I'll clean that up. And we'll come back for some next steps. All right, friends, it's officially the next day, and this stuff has set. So you'll see the texture. It's definitely sticking up and bumpy. If you don't like that, I don't recommend doing that. It's going to be hard and firm. It's going to be, some of it might peel off, and that's okay over time, wear and tear kind of thing. I don't mind it. I'm not going to try to get it off. I like it. And I think that there's stuff that we can do to work with it. So, but if you don't like extra texture added to your fabric, then I don't recommend putting that paste on there. So I think what I would like to do, this gilding wax. I know, right? So with the gilding wax, my thought is that it might highlight that color or that texture a little bit. We're going to give it a shot. It is a nice Saturday here today in Alabama, and we are just kind of here around the house, hanging out, doing stuff, having fun. Let's see if I can get some of that on there. It's going to add a little bit of sparkle and texture. I don't mind if I get it on the fabric, but I'm trying to kind of keep it highlighted to the paste itself. I don't know that there's much in here anymore. Put that on my order list. All right. Darn, I have to order craft supplies. I made it a few days into the new year without ordering craft supplies. Just a few. How are you guys doing with that? Are you trying to, does anybody have any kind of New Year's resolutions to not buy craft supplies, to maybe use what they've got? I tried to do that last year and it didn't work out so good. I mean, I always try to use what I've got, but I was buying stuff pretty quick. Got to admit it. I think this year I'm going to be heavy on using what I have to get, to get extra stuff out of here. We've got some plans within the next year or so to hopefully move back to California. And that would not be helpful if I have too many craft supplies, and I don't want to leave a bunch behind. So my goal is to use up what I can and make it work. So I want to make sure I get over here on this part too. And I got to do it on the other piece. So that actually makes a difference. Can you guys see the difference in that? It's definitely adding some detail. I need to get some over here too. I need to probably just cut the top of this off and be done with this tube. But I'm afraid to waste it because it dries so darn quickly. So let's put it over here too. Let's see how much I can squish out. Oh, there is still quite a bit in there. It's just kind of dry. A little difficult. You can do this a different way. You don't have to do, of course you don't have to do any of this. This is just me playing. But you can see how it definitely adds the gold metallic into that. Just making it a little bit more grungy, a little more interesting. Of course, there's more I want to do to this fabric. And we will. Let's get this other piece because I don't want to use it all in the one and then not have enough for the next. Where's the second one? Is this the second one? Yes, this is the second one. I want to make sure I'm putting it on the right one so I don't put it on the test piece. Because that would be wasting it. Well, not wasting it. I can use that for something else, but I want the front and my back of my book to look about the same, right? Got Gretchen over here snoring. I want to get some black ink splattered on here too. Some of that. some of that paste wants to come off. And if it wants to come off, let it come off. It's okay. It'll come off now instead of later. It'll make a, you know, little design difference. That's cool. That's what it's all about. Let's get that dabbed on there. I like how the color has kind of come around the paste and kind of settled down into the crevices of that. You can see it really good in here. See how the blue is kind of just settled in between there, and I'm just kind of rubbing this lightly over the paste to make it stand out. Trying not to get the fabric, but if it does, it's okay. Maybe this is really stiff in here, so. All right, and just a little bit here. It came off, but that's okay. Did I get it all over here? Yes, this is definitely a messy project, isn't it? All right, so that's it for this for now. I'm not going to cut the top off yet because there's still some in there. I might need it for something else. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. We'll wipe my finger off, though, because it will make a mess. So we'll get that off there. Wipe up my desk with the rest of that. Just a bit. Just a little cleaning. Make it a little easier. Okay, so what's next? I definitely need black on here, but I think that some of what I want to do is going to need to be on the book first. So I hesitate to put stamps on just yet. Stenciling is kind of a little different story, though. I want to use this stencil on here. I know, hearts. This is a little different for me, isn't it? But I think it's going to come together quite nicely. And therefore, I'm going to use it. I'd like to use a dark brown. I think I have a StazOn that's dark brown. Let me double check and see. I may not, but I think I do. That would be here. Okay. And that's important because I want this one to be dark and I want it to stay on. Makes sense, right? I just want a little bit of this in here. Not a lot. I don't want it to stand out too much. I don't want it to be cutesy. I just want some of it. Hints. Because I may use this throughout the journal itself. Now there's stars on this one too, which I didn't think about, but that's okay. Just kind of putting a little bit here and there. Again, I'm not sure which pieces of this I'm going to be using, so I'm just kind of decorating the whole piece, and I'll figure out kind of how that's going to work in a bit. But I'm thinking this end is probably going to be extra, so I'm keeping a lot of the design over on this side. Let's need something up here too. So let's do the same thing on this piece. I'm not trying to make it too noticeable there. Just an added element, kind of a background. A lot of it will probably be covered with some of the other decorative stuff that I want to do, the stamping and stuff like that too. So it probably won't show too much. Put some down here. And perhaps some over here too. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, I like it. Now, what's next? I think I'm getting to that place where I'm going to have to probably figure out which part is going to be on my cover to know which way to go next. And I think I'm seeing sort of what I want on at least one of them. I think this might be the cover right here. Oh, I really like this piece too. think this is my cover. And I think it's going to go somewhere right in about here. If I can kind of figure out where I want it, I can figure out how to cut it and then work it down a little bit. So I'm really loving this right here, right in here. And I think that's where I want to be. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to own it, and I'm not going to think too much. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut right here. And I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to give myself some room. That way I can move it around as needed. Don't worry, those other pieces I'm tearing off will not go to waste at all. But I think this is my cover right here. And here's something that I'm thinking about doing, you guys. I want to put a strip of fabric going this way, and that's going to be an under part. And I'm going to cut a hole into this part to make a pocket. I had this brainchild idea early this morning, and I haven't gone away from it yet. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me grab that fabric. We're going to put this piece together and make it happen. All right, so I have cut a piece of fabric. This is just denim from a pair of old jeans, and it's stretchy too. I just want to glue this on here. This is going to be the back of my pocket, and you'll see how it's going to come, how I'm thinking it's going to come together. Let's go ahead and glue this on here. And I haven't used this glue yet. Oh, I have one that's gluing. Let's see if I have to do that later. But we'll glue this on here and we'll keep going. Get some good coverage here. Honestly, the book is that beautiful blue, but it's got the white band on. I just want the fabric in there too. So you don't have to put this on there, but I think it's going to add a nice touch, and I'd like to use this denim throughout the journal as well. So it'll pull it together nicely. So we'll just glue this here. That nice rich color. And it's okay that it's not even, because I'm going to cover that. So not a problem. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. And then what I'd like to do is take my ruler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ruler. How long is this book? I'm nervous. This part makes me nervous. Okay, so this is just over 11 inches. So we're just going to say, let's say it's 11 inches. We're going to go from the 1.5 to, we're going to go from the 2 to the 9. 2 inches to 9 inches. So that's 7 total inches. And I'm going to go over onto the acrylic part because it's going to be firmer than the fabric part. And I think that's going to hold my pocket better. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut. I don't know how sharp this is. 2 to the 9. Okay, I have nothing under here but my glass mat. So 2 to 9 inches. I'm going to do that a couple times. Make sure I've gotten all the way through, or at least close to it, because I can fix it with my scissors. 2 to the 9, and then we're going to do it on this side as well. It's going to go just past the 8. All right, I can fix anything with the scissors now that it's at least marked. And I wanted a gape in it, a gap, so let's see. It didn't cut very well. My blade is super dull on that cutter, but that's okay. Oh, it cut better than I thought it did. Okay. And it's okay if it's not perfectly straight. I'm not aiming for perfection. Just an idea I had. And we're going to hold on to this piece that we're cutting out too, because we're going to use it for something else. I don't know what, but it's going to go in the book. We made this fabric and it matches, so we're going to put it in the book. All right, so that's saved. Now my idea is that this is going to be the pocket. See how that's going to work? I'm going to fray these edges a little bit. When I glue it down, this part's going to be glued down, but this part will be a pocket. But I'm going to sew around it also to give it some rustic feel. I think it's going to be gorgeous. So let's see how this works for fraying. I don't know. I might need to pull some threads. I should probably go sew it before I try to do this. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go sew around it a couple times and see how that works. I'm also, guys, I'm feeling this fabric and I feel like I'm still picking up blue when I'm, yeah, see, I'm still picking up ink, I think, when I'm touching this. I don't have any ink on there, so let's see if it, yeah, I am. I'm going to have to figure out how to seal this. So, I may be spray painting it when I'm done. I don't know. I'm going to go sew around this, see what we got. All right, I've got it sewn up. Let's see about distressing it, if this will work or not. I think if I take my scissors, I tried my fingers and I can't really pull the threads because of the acrylic paint, but I think that this will rough it up enough to get the look I'm looking for. Hopefully. You guys hear my birdies today? They are so noisy. All right, I think this will work. Just want it to be, not too new looking. And I think that's going to be beautiful. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's where we're at. Now what I'm going to do, like I said, I am picking up some of the ink off of here, and I don't want that. So what I will do, once this is done, and I've got my stamping and everything complete on it, and the sewing done the way I want it, and all that stuff, I'll go back and hit it with some I wonder if matte medium would work. Either matte medium or just some clear spray paint, I think would be just fine. Something that'll just seal that ink onto the surface. So this is what it's going to look like, basically. I think I might want to scoot this over just a little bit more to probably right about there. I'm going to go ahead and glue this line right here so that it's in place where I want it. And I think I'd like to go up with this pocket just a little bit more. Probably right there. There we go. I'll let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go around the edges and glue it down that way too. I'll do the top, I'll do this part. Don't glue this side because this is going to be our pocket. We'll glue this part. And then I'm going to glue along the edge right here just to make sure it stays put. And then I'm going to let it dry. And we'll keep. Okay, so this is dried. This is several hours later. And I've been kind of playing with this and thinking about it. I don't know how much more I'm going to add to this front of this. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just finish the cover for now. And then I can get this posted for you guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and, this is the front part. I haven't started, I haven't really done anything to the back part yet. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this part over the side. Here. And fold this over here. Could have potentially just trimmed that, I suppose, and that might actually be a better idea, but I think since we've already got glue, we're just gonna follow through with it and clip these down to make sure they stay nice and tight. At least that's the idea. I'm just singing the song. I've been watching while I was waiting for this, I've got a lot done because it's now evening time, and when I was filming earlier, it was day. But I've been watching shorts, and I've got those songs stuck in my head. Okay. I love the baking ones. They show you. I have no idea what they're baking. No idea. But the music is just so upbeat and happy, and they're so talented, these people. When they bake this stuff all the time, it's crazy how quickly and smoothly they make it and perfect. Okay, so that's going to be that. Now this fabric should tear a little bit, or do a little differently. Now, what I've decided I want to do for the top and the bottom, I actually want to put some denim up here too. Ooh, or I just had another thought. I found some wallpaper that I have in my stash that I have not used for the project I intended it for. But look how perfect this is, guys. Look at how perfect it is. And I was thinking about using this on here somehow, and maybe I need to put a strip of it up here and then maybe make this fabric a little shorter so that that paper would show. And I think I really want to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just cut a couple strips of it, or a strip of it, probably across would be plenty. That way I'm using yet another piece of, I've got all of that to use. It's going to take me forever. Forever. So if I glue this to the top here and then cut this fabric a little bit shy, that would show up at the top and be really cute little extra bonus element. Although it's not going to show the blue much. It will, I guess, if I trim it a little lower. So I really want the blue to show. I guess it'll matter. Okay, it'll matter how I trim it. So let me let this one dry, and we'll glue the second piece, the back part. Now I haven't decided which part of this one I want to be the cover, or the cover yet. I think we're just going to do it a lot the same way and just kind of put this kind of here in the middle and let this speak. I think we're going to go here. So I'm going to cut just like the other one. There's the edge. Here it is. So we'll tear here. So we'll have plenty to wrap around. And it's going to go to about here. So it'll be here-ish that I can tear. Once again, none of this will be going to waste. I like this bottom part better than the top part, but I want to keep this gold on here. So we'll go to, and the gold ends here. That's perfect. So what I will do is I'm going to line this all the way up, because if we use that paper, then this will have to be a little short anyway. And this I can cut, right here at the top. Let's cut it right. It's probably still too tall, and that's okay. we'll be closer than we were. Oh, that's great, actually. That's great. Okay, so we've got gold all the way here. We've got it all the way here. I could even put... some of that down the side here if I wanted to. I'm not going to put a pocket on the back of this part. I'm going to trim this closer. I do want it to wrap, but I don't need that much. Okay. Oh, this is going to be gorgeous. I'm very excited. Okay, so this will go here. And I'm going to take... see how that's going to just layer that beautifully. Well, let's do it. No time like the present, huh? I've got plenty of it to use, so it definitely matches. Let's go ahead and put some of this Fabri-Tac here. That should work for the wallpaper too, I would think. And we will put as much of this... oh, see, my ink is coming off on my fingers and it's getting on here now. So I will have to wipe that. I need another towel. And that's okay because it's going to be smudged. I want it to be distressed anyway, so I'm not mad about it spreading, and it might actually just wipe back off with a damp wet wipe. So what I want to do with these guys, you might be wondering how's she going to finish the edges. I was thinking about sewing on here, but I've already glued the other piece of the front, so I can't sew that one anymore. So my thought is to go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to take some trim, and I'll be outlining it with some trim that I've sewn through, so it looks like I sewed the edges instead of actually sewing them. So I do have a plan for that, even though it doesn't look like it at the moment. But I do want it to look finished, so I will be adding a trim that looks like it's sewn. Boop, boop, boop. All right, there's that. Spread that. This actually would have been really pretty to just cover the full part, but there's going to be fabric lapped over onto this side, so the paper won't smoothly cover that fabric lump. So I'm going to have to cover it probably in another fabric. So that was my plan there. I'm probably going to use the denim that I used on the front side for the pocket to do that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use some more of that wallpaper to cover these parts too. Forgive Chuck celebrating in there. He's having fun. All right. Let's see if you guys, I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if my camera will pick it up, but I guess he's winning his game. He's talking to his friends. All right. There we go. And we'll go ahead and fold this one. Actually, you know, I could use that piece. It's okay if it doesn't go. Oh shoot, no, I gotta have to cut another one. That's okay. To cut this way. Okay. There we go. trim a little bit of that corner back. Make it as smooth as we can. And I need another piece for the top. Okay. There's plenty. This is so pretty. I really love this paper. Okay, and then as much of that as I can to show. All right, we'll go ahead and fold that back over. I guess I didn't have to do that corner, did I? All right. I'll just trim that off. There we go. Okay, and then what we'll do is go ahead and glue, well, let's see if I can trim that back real quick. Just get those pieces out of the way so we don't have to worry about them. Okay, what do you guys think about that? I think it's gonna look gorgeous. I'm gonna have to trim back just a little bit more on the bottom, I think, to make that paper show a little bit more, a little better. Okay, and then this will have to wrap around. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that. By the time that's glued down, this other one should be just about set. Start there. Let's see how we go. Just make sure it's nice and pressed flat so that everything stays. Trying again not to spread my ink anywhere. Make sure that that's nice and pressed down. I've only glued to about there, so. And then we'll get this part. Make sure that's glued down nice and tight. All right, and once you guys have seen me do this one, you don't need to see me do the second one. So I will struggle with that one off camera, but let me show you how to finish this one off, or how I finish this one off for this part. I'll make sure that's kind of spread there. And like I said, I'm going to be adding a trim around the outside of it. So I'm not done with it, but this is a good stopping point for the next part so that I can get this posted for you guys so that you can kind of see what's going on. And, well, not this, because I've got to finish putting the other part together. And I don't have to make all the decisions in one day. So those decisions can, some of the other decisions can wait. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this other piece again. We will, these should be nice and clamped down now. And we should be able to go ahead and trim this back. Okay. Now I'm debating if I want the paper on the front side too. the reason I'm debating is it doesn't have to be the same. But I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure. Can't quite decide. Didn't quite turn the way I wanted it to. Not that I don't like it, but I do like the edges of it because they're nice and finished, but I could get that with this too. So I think on the front of the book, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm not going to put the paper. I'll use the paper as an element in the plate for the book. So that'll be, you know, I'll have something here that will carry that paper on it instead. That's how I'm going to do it. Okay. But I do need to trim this back still just a little bit because it's going to be too bulky. So we'll cut the corners. I guess I won't do this one off camera because we're doing it different. Okay. So the important thing on this one is to make sure that I keep that pocket nice and open so that I don't glue it shut, but I still need to wrap everything. Nice and tight. And I certainly don't need this much fabric to do it. So we'll tear that, maybe. Oh, come on now. And what I'll do is glue. Oops, that was supposed to be glued right there, but that's okay. We'll go across. We'll glue all the way at the top and all the way here. Doesn't need to go all the way to the edge. Put a good inky dose there. Not ink, glue, gluey dose. And we'll go to there. And we'll go straight across here. So that'll all be glued. So only this part will be unglued in the middle. So we'll just lay this flat over and make sure to stretch it the best that we can so it's not out of place or out of whack or anything, but definitely straight enough so that it stays flat. Now, if you're just joining us today and you haven't seen my videos before, I have not done this before. I'm making this up as I go. I like to be a in the moment creator that I don't always have a plan. So this is a lot of experimenting and a lot of playing and just seeing what works. And that's my favorite kind of crafting, my favorite kind of art, is just going with what you feel. And that is definitely what I'm doing today. There we go. This part should have been cut a little bit. Now it's stuck to my finger. My very inky fingers. And we should have a nice cover. I'm going to go ahead and clip these just to help hold them still while they set, because this glue dries much slower than some of my favorite glues. And so I get a little impatient. Sometimes you just really got to stick with it and not be impatient. So we'll stick that down. I like it. And we'll come back when it's dry. Okay, my friends. We're on day 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. I don't even know. This was taking me a little bit longer than anticipated, but we're going to get it done. Okay. front and back. And you've got the spine. I found a fabric I want for the inside, so we'll do that today. We got to get the spine put together. And we're going to get it done. So I apologize this one. Well, it's not taking a long time for you guys because you're going to get it all put together, but it is taking a while. I think this is enough fabric for the inside and for the spine. It should be. Okay. And if not, I'll make it work. Okay. So, what's next? Well, here's the deal. I need to do something with this. And I'm feeling like this, in comparison to these, is not going to be very strong. So I think I need to back this with yet another piece of chipboard or something to make it sturdier. So here's something. I think that'll work. Is this the correct size? Well, that'll work just fine. So I'm going to put two more layers of this. This was 2.5 inches, I believe. Oh, nope, 3. So we'll just use this piece. As I'm using stuff around the room. Use that for something else. And we'll just glue these together. And we've made it sturdier. So there. That was easy enough. As long as the glue comes out. Hopefully this video isn't too super long when it's all put together. It's been a rough go, guys. This week has been pretty tough. I'm feeling better and better every day, but it's still pretty harsh. I'm supposed to go back to work allegedly in about 4 days. I just don't see it happening. So, see the doctor tomorrow. I think they're going to extend my time off. I'm definitely going to ask for it because I can't stand up for an hour, much less 8. My job is pretty physical, so to be able to stand up and move and keep going for 8 hours is just that's not going to happen right now. So we shall see. There we go. We've got a much thicker spine. That's going to be much sturdier. Because this book is going to be so big, I want to make sure that that's nice and strong. And so there. Now, what we want to do, on the clips here, everything's kind of, let's see which way. This is going to be the outer side. So that's going to go that way. Lay my pieces the right way. What I'd like to do for the spine, I'm going to do this a little bit differently in that I need a piece. It's going to be wide enough. It's going to go right here. Is it still going to be big enough? I hope so. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so this piece is going to be this way, and I need to cut this about the same height ish. Okay, and I'm going to glue this piece onto the middle. I want to make sure that brown is going to show through a little bit. You know what? I think that's okay because it's going to tone back that color a little bit, the white. Or if I like the brighter, I could flip it back this way and it'd be brighter. Not that much of a difference, really. So I will leave it. And make sure that my glue is all open. I feel like I've been working on this cover for like 2 weeks. I know that's not true, but I can usually get them done within an hour or two. This one, not so much. Okay. So do that. Make sure that this fabric is nice and smooth, so there's no wrinkles. Beautiful. And then what I'm going to do, this is a little bit different than a lot of my spines. I'm going to glue this to the inside of the book so that this fabric will be glued to this side. So when you open it, you're going to see that fabric, but it's going to be like this is on top of it. Do you see how that works? So that's not always the way to do it, but for this one, that's how I want to do it. I'm going to glue these ends down also. Could have left a little more fabric on there for that, but that's okay. Okay, and then put this glue all the way to the edge here. We want to make sure it's got a really tight stick. I don't know what the words are. I'm out of words. And then we want to make sure also that there is a little gap because we need to be able to fold it. So there should be just a tiny gap in there to allow for some movement. And I forgot my spine is just slightly shorter, so let's put that in the middle. Just butt that up right there. Okay. Got some good gappage. That's extra bulk, so we'll just remove that. Go this way too. Okay, and we'll put some extra glue in here just to make sure it's got really good stick. Okay, I'll do this one too. We'll go ahead and remove some of this bulk before we glue it, make it a little easier. And we'll do the same here. Make sure we've got the edges we want to the outside. Can you guys see that? Okay. And then we'll push this down, making sure we've got a little room for movement. If it's too tight, it's going to be really hard to open and close that book. But you don't want too much that your cover is wobbly either. All right. Okay. So there we go. Drink a little coffee. So then the next is going to be covering the inside of this, and I want to use this same fabric in here. looks like I'm going to need to trim it even more so that it fits better. And that's perfect. That's another piece of fabric out of my stash. Yay! Okay. So I'll trim it there. And then I need to trim it this way too, just a little. That should be just about perfect. How do we do? Yep, that's just about perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll do this part off camera. I'm going to go ahead and glue this off camera and just spread it down and make it smooth. And then I'll come back and we'll do the outside. All right, so the inside is glued. Now I want to do something with this spine here. And this is going back on the book. I want to go ahead, well, I guess it's got to go the right way. I want to go ahead and put a little bit of background of this on there, and I'm going to put some denim behind that. So it's going to outline it that way, I think. So let me go ahead and put this book part aside for just a bit, and we can glue this to this fabric. And I just want a tiny bit around the outside, just kind of like this, just so it's frayed. And I'm going to do some sewing around it too. So that being said, let's trim it here. Well, will it tear? Maybe not. Let's try it again. There we go. There we go. That hurt my thumb. Okay. Yep, so that should give me some really nice frayed edges around the outside. I love that. Okay. Now these spines, you don't have to put them back on your book, of course, ever. But they also, I mean, I like the way that they look sometimes put back on the book, but then I also like to make bookmarks out of them, different designing elements inside the book. You could do all kinds of things with them. So don't throw them away because they're definitely useful. Okay, we'll smooth that one out. And then I'm going to tear this one this way. Maybe. There we go. Just pull that back up. Okay. And I love the fray on here. I'll probably trim some of that back. But I don't want to clean it up too much. Okay. Then I want to put a piece of denim behind that, just a little bit. From my old jeans. It's long enough. Barely. All right, let's cut the other leg. I just need a chunk. Be right back with you guys. I'm just tearing away at these pants, hoping I don't cut the pants I'm wearing. That's more than enough. Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay. Just want a little bit peeking out. like that. And I'll just glue that down. Come on, glue. I guess I don't have to get it too crazy glued because I'm going to sew around it, so I guess I don't have to worry about that too much, but trim that back. Okay. Smooth that out. This, we're going to, I want to keep my frayed edges, so I'm going to kind of pull these back this way so I can get close. This jean fabric won't tear like that, so I have to cut it. I think it's more elastic than denim. My stretchy jeans. All right. And we'll do the same on this side. Right, that didn't leave a lot of the blue showing, but I'm okay with it. I'm going to go ahead and sew around this. I'll be right back. All right, so that was easy. And we're just going to add this back onto here. So, little glue action. And this should work perfectly. Well, you guys, I do want to apologize for all the stops and starts in this video. Thank you so much for being so patient with me. And all the kindness that you've shown me through this medical crisis that I'm in. It's been definitely life-changing experience. And it's not over yet, so thank you for that, and I hope that you'll keep sticking around. It'll get better and better. It'll get easier. It's it already has. I mean, I can actually sit up, so that's something. All right, so we've got that. I'll do more decorative stuff on the outside of this, but for now, I just really wanted to get this part done, the cover basics done, and we've got that. So we've got the spine, we've got the front, the inside, the back put together. And I'll be adding some trims. I want to go, this is going to be kind of an Americana kind of thing in a way. So we're going to be adding some red trim. I love this trim. I absolutely adore this trim. So we'll be adding some red to it. I want to add some lace to make it somewhat feminine. I've got all kinds of these kind of things left. So those will all be going in there. So none of it will go to waste. But in the meantime, thank you guys once again for being a part of this journey. And I hope that you will stick around and hang out with me and come back for the next video. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.